I'm so astonished by looking at you and so amazed by listening to you that I can't even think of what to say to you or what to ask you. I shall say only that heaven must have led me here today to console me. If he who is unfortunate can obtain consolation from seeing another, even more so. They tell the story of a wise man who one day reached a point of such poverty and misery that his only nourishment came from eating the grasses he picked. Can there be anyone else, he said to himself, poorer and sadder than I? And when he turned his head, he found the answer, for there was another wise man gathering up the blades that he discarded. Up to this point, I lived resentful of the way fortune has treated me, and just when I asked myself, can there be anyone else with more miserable luck, you responded mercifully. For upon applying the moral of my story, I see that my sufferings would be your joys if you were to gather them up. And if by chance my sufferings might give you some relief, listen to them carefully and feel free to take any that are left over. My name is...
Tower guards! Through sleep or cowardice, you've given passage to two people who've broken through the prison perimeter.
What new confusion is this?
That's Clotho, my jailer. My misfortunes are never ending.
Come quickly and with vigilance before they can defend themselves, seize them or kill them. Treason!
Tower guards, you let us in here, and since we have a choice, I think seizing us would be easier.
Make sure all your faces are covered, for it is important that no one recognizes us while we are here.
What's this, a damn costume party?
O you whose ignorance of this forbidden sight has led you past its enclosed perimeter against the decree of the king. Who has prohibited anyone from seeing the aberration that lives among these boulders? Surrender your arms and your lives, or this pistol, a metallic viper, will spit forth the piercing venom of 2 bullets, deafening the air with its shots.
Before, O tyrannical master, you can offend or injure them, my life will become the spoils of these miserable fetters. For despite the restraint by God, I'll tear myself to shreds with my own hands and teeth, here among these very crags, before I allow my misfortune to befall these strangers and end up bemoaning.
If you know that your misfortunes, Sexamund, are so great that even before your birth you were sentenced to death by the dictates of heaven, if you know that these chains are meant to serve as a brake and rein to your arrogant fury, what are you boasting about? Guards, hide him in this narrow cell and shut the door.
Oh heavens, how rightly you act in stripping me of my liberty, because otherwise I would fight you like a giant who, to tear the sun off its crystal hinges, would pile mounds of marble atop foundations of stone.
Perhaps precisely so you don't do so, you suffer many hardships today.
Given that his presumption has offended you, I would be a fool if I didn't beg you humbly for my life, which lies in your power. Let yourself be moved by my sincerity, for it would be unduly severe of you to find favor with neither presumption nor humility.
And if humility and presumption don't move you, even though a character is moved, they've moved and stirred 1,000 allegorical plays, then I shall, neither humbly nor presumptuously, be somewhere in between, ask you for your help and shelter.
Attention! Sir! Strip them both of their arms and blindfold them, so they won't see how or from where they're leaving.
My sword can be surrendered to you alone, because after all, you are in charge here, and it is incapable of surrendering to those of lesser rank.
Mine is such that it can be given to the lowest of the low. Here, you take it.
And if I am to die, I wish to leave you as proof of my sincerity, an instrument whose value is determined by he who once wore it. I ask you to keep it safe because, although I don't know what secret it holds, I do know that this golden sword conceals many mysteries, for I have come to Poland to avenge a dishonor with nothing else to vouch for me.
Good heavens, how can this be? My sufferings and confusions, my anxieties and sorrows are all compounded. Who gave this to you?
A woman.
What is her name?
I'm obliged not to reveal that.
Well, how do you now infer or know that it holds some sort of secret?
The woman who gave it to me said, leave for Poland, and through ingenuity, deliberation, or artifice, let the noble and powerful see you with this sword, for I know that one of them will favor and shelter you. She wouldn't mention his name for fear he might be dead.
Heaven help me, what have I just heard? Is this an illusion or reality? This sword is one I left with lovely Viola, signaling that anyone who returned wearing it would find me as loving as a son and devoted as a father. So what am I to do now, O miserable me, amid such confusion, when he who wears the sword seeking favor can find only death? For he comes before me doomed by the king's edict? What terrible confusion, what sad fate, what inconstant luck! This is my son. His appearance confirms what I feel in my heart, which, longing to see him, calls to my breast, beats its wings within, and, unable to break the lock, acts as he who, confined indoors, leans out the window upon hearing of noise in the street. And thus, hearing the noise without knowing the cause, my heart rushes to look out through my eyes, the windows of my soul, through which it escapes in tears. What am I to do? Heaven help me, what am I to do? To take him to the king is to take him, oh, what sorrow to his death. But I can't hide him from the king without violating the laws of fealty. On the one hand, I am swayed by my self-interest, on the other by loyalty to the king. But how can I really have any doubt? Doesn't loyalty to the king come before one's own life and honor? So loyalty it shall be, and await with honor. Besides, I recall it now that he said he's come to Poland to avenge a dishonor, and everyone knows that a dishonored man is incontemptible. So he can't be my son. He's not my son and does not share my noble blood. But then again, if the affront was inescapable, for honor is so fragile that it can be shattered with a single deed or blemished with a whisper, what more could a noble man do in his defense? What more than go to looking for his remedy at all cost? He is my son. He does share my blood, for his valor is great. And thus, in such a dilemma, my best option is to go to the king, inform him that he's my son, and acknowledge that he must die. Perhaps my very conviction of my loyalty will move his majesty to sympathy, and if I manage to earn my son's life, then I'll help him avenge his dishonor. But if the king remains steady in his severity and sentences him to death, then he will die without knowing I'm his father. Come with me, foreigners, but don't fear. Know that you lack company in your misfortunes, for amid such terrible doubt I know not which is worse, to live or to die.